She decided to return home and was confronted with the shock of her life. Amina stepped into their hut and met a strange woman in her kitchen. "What is going on here?" she asked her husband Chike, who slapped her hard and warned her never to question him in her life. Once upon a time, there lived a very beautiful woman who got married to a man that turned her life into a living nightmare. Her name was Amina, and she was a very industrious woman, so hardworking and diligent in whatever she did. Amina was introduced to Chika by his dear mother, and not long after they were introduced, they got married and began to live together. From the day that they got married, Chika never considered Amina as his wife. He criticized everything that she did and scolded her at every given opportunity. Despite all this, Amina never stopped showing her husband genuine love and care. One day, Amina prepared Chike's favorite meal, believing this would cheer him up when he returned home from the farm. This, however, did not go as planned, as Chike accused Amina of trying to kill him, flinging the food in her face and walking out angrily. This broke Amina's heart, as she never understood what she had ever done wrong to Chike to warrant this level of hatred. For years, Amina never experienced love from her husband. She would often run to Chike's mother's hut to complain, and his mother would always assure her that Chike would one day change. But this change was not in sight, as Chike continued to treat Amina like a stranger in her own home. One night, Amina fell terribly ill. Her husband Chike returned home late that night and noticed she was shivering. Chike ignored his wife, not caring that she was sick. He went about his activities as though nothing had happened. By morning, Amina struggled to take herself to the healer's hut, who prepared some herbs for her, saying that Amina was lucky to still be alive. For over a week, Amina remained at the healer's hut as she received treatment. During this time, Chike never came looking for her. A few days passed, and Amina was now much better. She decided to return home and was confronted with the shock of her life. Amina stepped into their hut and met a strange woman in her kitchen. "What is going on here?" she asked her husband Chike, who slapped her hard and warned her never to question him in her life. Amina's eyes shone in confusion as she could not understand what was going on. The strange woman, whose name was Zuri, began to laugh as she walked away with Chike, throwing mocking remarks at Amina, who broke down in tears. Amina rushed to Chike's mother's house to complain, only to hear the news that Chike's mother had passed away a few nights ago. Amina then asked why she was not informed of the burial, and the old man revealed that her husband Chike told the elders that his wife had deserted him. According to tradition, when a man is to bury his mother, if he is married, he must appear with his wife to perform the burial rites. In cases where he is not married, he must take on a wife before his mother can be buried. What had happened was that when Chike's mother died, he told the village elders that his wife had deserted him. So the elders suggested that he take on a new wife to enable him to bury his mother. Chike quickly married Zuri, his longtime love and the woman after his heart. Zuri was a woman whom Chike loved with all his heart, but was unable to marry because his mother was blatantly against the union. Zuri was the daughter of Chike's mother's sworn enemy. When Chike told his mother of his intent to marry Zuri, she kicked against the idea, saying that as long as she was alive, Chike would never marry Zuri. Chike tried all he could to convince his mother of his love for Zuri, but his mother told him that it would be over her dead body before she allowed her son to marry Zuri. This caused a lot of issues for Chike, who found it difficult to marry any other woman. A few years later, Chike's mother introduced him to Amina, saying that Amina was the right woman for him. Chike was not interested in marrying Amina, but his mother pushed him into marrying her. That was how Amina found herself married to a man who had no interest in her and treated her badly. Sad and confused, Amina decided to return to her husband's house. The pain of seeing her husband happy with another woman shattered her in a way she never knew possible. The death of her mother-in-law also made things worse, as Amina was now alone in the world with no one to care for her, not even a mother or father, as her parents died many years ago. Amina became a shadow of herself, with thinking as her only companion. Chike and Zuri made living unbearable for Amina as they continued to flaunt their happiness in front of her, adding salt to her wounds. They basked in their newfound love, enjoying the life that Chike had denied Amina since they got married. Despite the heartbreak and humiliation, Amina continued to live in the same hut with Chike and Zuri. She endured the pain silently, nursing the wounds that Chike's cruelty had inflicted upon her over the years. But what Chike failed to realize was that Amina loved him with all her heart. He was her first love and the only man she had ever loved in her life. Amina never imagined how cruel love could be, as all her life she had yearned for love, but life had instead dealt wickedly with her. One hot afternoon, Amina was heading to the village stream, lost in her own thoughts. She bumped into a young woman who noticed her absent-mindedness and asked what the problem was. This was the first time someone was genuinely concerned about Amina and willing to listen to her. So Amina told the young woman all that she had been going through in her marriage. The young woman, whose name was Ngozi, said to her that she deserved better and should not give up but pick herself up and make the most of her situation. Ngozi became a true friend to Amina, a shoulder to lean on when the pressures of life were weighing her down. Ngozi encouraged Amina to find strength within herself and to stand up for her own happiness. As the days went by, Ngozi's friendship became a source of solace for Amina. They spent time together, and soon Amina began to laugh and smile again. One day, Amina and Ngozi were conversing by the village stream when they overheard a discussion about an upcoming festival in the village. The villagers were planning a festival to celebrate the birth of a royal baby, and everyone was excited about it. Ngozi saw this as an opportunity for Amina to break free from the chains of her troubled marriage, so she encouraged Amina to participate in the festival to take her mind off all that had been happening to her. Amina, hesitant at first, agreed to partake in the festival as she believed the time had come for her to take charge of her life. As the day of the festival drew closer, Amina immersed herself in the preparations and rehearsals. In the evenings, Amina would stay at the back of her hut practicing her dance steps. Her co-wife Zuri would throw mocking remarks at her, saying that no amount of dancing would change her misfortune. But Amina, bolstered by Nyozi's encouragement, paid no mind to Zuri and focused on her practice. A day before the festival, Amina and her co-participants gathered for their final rehearsal when the queen of the village noticed her as she was dancing. The queen was mesmerized by how beautifully Amina danced and asked her maidens for details about her. She was told all the horrible things that Amina had gone through, and the queen was touched by her story. The day of the festival arrived, and the village square was adorned with vibrant colors and lively music. Amina, dressed in stunning traditional attire, stepped onto the festival ground and began to dance. Her unique dance style grabbed the attention of everyone present, including the queen, who marveled at how beautifully Amina danced. As Amina danced, the villagers were captivated by her performance. Zuri, watching from the sidelines, could not help but feel a twinge of jealousy, The attention that Amina was receiving made Zuri uneasy as she regretted ever underestimating her co-wife. The queen, deeply moved by Amina's performance, stood up to honor her. All the villagers were shocked as this was the highest honor anyone could receive in the village, and in almost a decade, no one had received such an honor from the queen. The queen presented Amina with a beautifully crafted bead necklace, a symbol of the queen's recognition and support. The festival, initially meant to celebrate the birth of a royal baby, turned into a celebration of Amina as the whole village applauded and celebrated her courage and resilience. Amina's story became an inspiration not only to those facing similar challenges, but to everyone who witnessed her performance. In the days that followed, Amina's life took a positive turn as the queen offered to be the mother she never had. After a lengthy discussion with Amina, the queen adopted her into the royal household as her daughter. Amina automatically became a princess, and her marriage to Chike was dissolved, as they never lived as husband and wife since they got married. This was an automatic reason for dissolving a marriage in their village. Amina was now free from her troubled marriage and began to live in the palace as a princess. Not long afterward, a prince from a neighboring village came to ask for Amina's hand in marriage. He had seen Amina at the festival and was interested in her, but was told she was married. Disappointed, the prince returned to his village but could not stop thinking about Amina. When news reached him of the dissolution of Amina's marriage, he hurriedly came to declare his interest in marrying her. That was how Amina got married to the prince who loved her with all his heart. She finally felt the love she had craved all her life, as the prince adored everything about her, including the ground she walked on. Everyone envied Amina, including Chike and Zuri, who could not believe how beautifully Amina's life had turned out. The lesson to be learned from this story is that in whatever situation you find yourself, do not give up because the future might just be so bright for you. Never look down on anyone in life or treat people unfairly, as your actions might just break them. Learn to be kind to everyone you come across because you never know what the future holds. I hope you enjoyed the story. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment. It helps us grow our channel.